Welcome to CEO Insights. I'm Marilyn de Guzman with investingnews.com. My guest this episode is Mike Jones, Managing Director of Impact Minerals. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Marilyn. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. So on March 5th, you announced a rights issue notice to your shareholders. What's the intention of this capital raise and how is it progressing since your announcement?
So, yes, we have announced a renounceable rights issue, which means that all shareholders can participate in this particular capital raise. So normally placements are made to sophisticated investors, and retail investors are not allowed to take part in those because of the rules of ASIC, etc. And so a rights issue gives all shareholders to participate going forward. And there are two types. There's a non-renounceable rights issue in which basically there's a yes or no for taking up your rights, but a renounceable rights issue actually allows you to trade those rights. So you can sell them if you're not interested in taking up the offer, or you can buy more and qualify to purchase shares at this a very attractive price. And so the rights are being issued at 0.6 of a cent, and along with that, there is a one free attaching option for every two shares that are subscribed for. They've got an exercise price at 1.5 cents and an expiry of 2.5 years. So that's a very attractive offer for all shareholders. And it's significant because it is the first offer to all shareholders that we've had at Impact since we got our Lake Hope High Purity Alumina project. And that is certainly where the bulk of the funds are going to go. We're coming towards the end of our pre-feasibility study right now. And it's been delayed, partly because we're waiting on some crucial test work, which appeared at the end of January. That test work was all positive, and so we were able to now push forward to the end of the PFS. Unfortunately, because of that delay, we were starting to run out of cash, and so we thought it was appropriate to give shareholders the right to subscribe now before the results of the PFS are out, and we can all sort of participate in the journey going forward. In terms of how it's going so far, we're looking to raise just over $5 million. It's a 2 for 7 issue, which means that for every 7 shares that the current shareholder owns, they can subscribe for 2 more. And so the good news is that our largest shareholder, which is a family office in Germany, has agreed to subscribe for their full entitlement, which is about 17% of the issue, or about $890,000. And on the back of that, lead manager for the raise, which is Mahe Capital, they're specialists in this type of issue, renounceable rights issues. They've upped their underwriting to $2 million. So we've basically already got $2 million out of the 5 committed, and it's still very early days yet. So we're looking forward to a strong finish in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, off to a good start, certainly. So maybe it's a good time to talk about the Lake Hope project. So you've alluded to the pre-feasibility study that you're conducting. Could you talk about maybe some of the progress that you've done and the plans in the near term?
Yes, so people need to remember that we've only had the project for 2 years and we're already coming to the end of a pre-feasibility study. So whilst it's been delayed by 3 or 4 months, we're still making great progress, galloping along towards trying to bring the project into at least small-scale production over the next few years. So last year was a big year as part of the pre-feasibility study, and I liken the whole study to like a jigsaw puzzle, and there's sort of 4 pieces to it. Out at the mine site, which people are not aware, we're looking to do a very simple mining of the top 2 meters of a salt lake, and there are sulfate minerals in there that we can convert into high purity alumina, and we can basically mine it and truck it to Perth at a very low cost. So last year we did, the principal thing that we did was lodge our mining lease application, so that's now underway, and we've held our initial discussions with the Naju Native Title Group, the local Aboriginal group in Norseman. They are very pro-mining, and I think our discussions will be more about, what involvement they have in the project as opposed to, yes, you can mine, or no, you can't mine. So that's a great outcome. So things at the mine are all moving along. At the process plant, we have come to the end of initial design studies done by CPC Engineering, a local company here who have some HPA experience. They've designed a very small, elegant plant which will be able to produce about 10,000 tonnes per annum of high-purity alumina. Now, related to that, there's a lot of test work going on. I alluded to that, and we had to wait for some crucial test work as part of the PFS, which has all come through. And running that, we have a husband and wife team, Scott and Eugenia Fegan. They have over 50 years of alumina experience between them. They have their own technologies for high-purity minerals, which Illumina is one of them. And they've been giving us some tremendous insights into the whole process. So that test work is progressing. And then lastly, marketing. We announced sort of towards the end of last year that one of Tianqi Lithium's key marketing people and commercial managers, Joseph Casella, he's come on board as our marketing lead. And he's starting to establish where our products will be sold. And then this year, we will start to contact clients. And that's going to be on the back of one of the biggest pieces of news last year is that we won a $3 million federal government grant to basically construct our pilot plant. And that is kicked off already. And it's a three-way research project between ourselves, CPC Engineering, who will build the pilot plant, and Edith Cowan University, who are developing a world-class research group in membrane technology. And membranes can be used basically to clean up fluids. And there are three areas that we can use it in, an upfront leach, acid regeneration, and effluent treatment. And so that's a very exciting project, and we think that's going to offer some significant lowering of our operating costs as we move forward. So all that funding that we're getting now is going to be used to help build that pilot plant in conjunction with the grant funds. And so we're in for a very exciting year.
What type of market are you looking at for your HPA? Are you looking at battery manufacturers? Like, what's the target there?
Look, the two key markets are actually the light-emitting diodes, LEDs. So virtually all the lights around us nowadays are LEDs, and they've obviously been replacing incandescent light globes over the last decade, and most governments have legislated against incandescent light globes as part of the energy transition. And in every LED is a small wafer of sapphire, and sapphire is a form of high purity alumina, and that is obviously a vast and growing market. And one of the other new and emerging field is actually in semiconductors. And one of our peers, the leader in the space, Alpha HPA, just recently announced a very significant letter of intent for basically 4,000 tons per annum of potential offtake in the semiconductor industry. And it's used in two places, actually in the semiconductor itself, but very importantly, because alumina high purity alumina is one of the hardest substances known, they use it in the polishing of those wafers as well and in the production of the semiconductors. So as we know, AI is becoming the big thing, data centers, et cetera, et cetera. So the demand for semiconductors is growing almost exponentially and is a huge market. So those are the two key areas that we're going to be focused on.
You also recently announced a new acquisition of a tenement package in around your Broken Hill project. Can you talk us through the strategy behind this acquisition?
Certainly. The thing about the feasibility study and the nature of the Lake Hope mineralization is that the cost of doing that feasibility study is really a fraction of the cost had we found something like a 5 million ounce or 10 million ounce gold deposit, which this has the same basic value for when you look at our scoping study. So if we'd found something like that, we'd have spent $100 million on drilling. So far our feasibility studies have cost us about $2.5 million, and we get 40% of that back in our R&D. So very cheap. So we can't afford to keep moving along some of our exploration ground. And we've been doing that at Broken Hill slowly. For those of you that don't know, but Impact was one of the first 7 companies selected on the BHP Explore program, which is now a very mining world famous innovation program accelerator. And as I said, we were in the first year that it was ever run on the back of a model for copper mineralization at Broken Hill. Now, Broken Hill is home to one of the world's greatest mines. It's in New South Wales in Eastern Australia and contains 350 million tons at least of mineralization, but it's silver, lead, zinc dominated. And since the mine was discovered in 1883, there's always been talk of maybe there's a giant copper deposit lying around. And we basically applied a new model that we'd been researching to that area, explained that to BHP. They liked the concept and gave us money to move forward. We found out a lot of information, did a lot of research in that program, and we are convinced that there is definitely a large copper deposit there. And so we've been quietly accumulating ground over the last couple of years. And so this announcement is a massive land addition to what we already own. And so we're now the largest ground holder in southern Broken Hill, and we actually almost completely surround the mine. And it's an area of resurgence of exploration and mining interest. There's been some significant deals done there recently, including a rejuvenation of the actual original RASP mine in the centre of Broken Hill. That will be coming on the boards here in ASX. Broken Hill Mines have done a fantastic deal there. And, look, we completely surround them. So we're convinced that we're going to be able to add significant value and do some work with the incoming parties there. And we've had a few knocks on the door from major companies as well because of the size of the land holding and some of the interesting ideas we've had. So look, we're going to push forward with that. And some of the funds that we get from the renounceable rights issue will be put towards that. So that rights issue closes on March the 21st. So all shareholders need to be, putting their application forms in by then. And the rights issue stops trading on Friday. And so people who are not shareholders can still participate by buying rights under the code IPTR. It's a standard stock ticker code. So in your brokerage account, type that in and you're still able to buy rights, which gives you access to the shares at 0.6%. I think we're trading at sort of 0.8. So there's a bit of already there's a bit of a margin in through there. And any questions, you can contact us at Impact Minerals, rights issue at impactminerals.com.au, and we can answer any questions that you have.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thanks again, Mike. Appreciate your time to speak with me today.
That's great, Marilyn, and lovely to be here.
And thanks everyone for watching. Join us again next time for another edition of CEO Insights.